BlaqueWitchYaya mama. BlaqueWitchYaya mama. BlaqueWitchYaya mama.
Hey y'all, it's BlaqueWitchYaya. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. And as you can see, we are back with another Orisha story because it would be absolutely rude of me to continue to crush, mix, and cook up my herbs without talking about the Orisha Osanyin. So some of you may not have heard or be familiar with the Orisha Osanyin, but I can bet you have probably seen him. You definitely seen him. You've probably eaten him, drinking him, touched him, purchased him from BlaqueWitchYaya.com via the crystal dry rub, which is an all-in-one crystal cleanser because some of your crystals do not react well to liquid, but with the crystal dry rub, you can use it to cleanse your crystals. If you want to charge them during the full moon, put them in your jewelry box so you can set your crystal necklaces and jewelry on top while you're not using them, to keep them cleansed and charged so you can take on the world. And you can get your crystal dry rub from BlaqueWitchYaya.com. So you have probably done all of that because if you can't tell, the Orisha Osanyin is over greenery, nature, plants, herbs when it comes to growing them, knowing the properties, the elements, the photosynthesis, and all things that go behind it. Osanyin is the master of herbs, especially from like a pharmaceutical, medical, and mystical standpoint. This may not be the story that your baba told you, your elder told you, your titi, your baba, your lulu, your grandma, your elder, whoever, because Orisha are so complex and their stories, traditions, and practices have been told from generation to generation to generation. All of my stories are public knowledge. No way, shape, or form am I telling secret or sacred information, because if it was a secret, why would I know it? Thank you. So for many stories, Osanyin does not come from a mother and father. There was not a male and a female who loved each other so much and decided to have a baby, but yet he comes from the merging or the marriage of earth and water, similar to plants. So we can tell already that the Orisha Osanyin is very unique. But something else that is unique about him is his appearance. And due to his appearance, he tends to stay to himself. Osanyin has one leg, one arm. He has two ears, but one is really big and the other one is really small, almost shriveled up, but it's so strong to the point where it can hear flowers bloom, flowers cry, leaves drop, the wings of butterflies flapping. It's very, very strong where he can hear the movement and the communication of nature. So that ear is very strong, but the larger ear, you would think it would have some type of special talent since it's so huge, but that ear is actually deaf, and some people even describe him as having one eye in the center of his face. So you may be thinking, Osanyin, brother Herbs, I'm glad you're here. We need you, but what happened? Like, what's going on? What had happened? You were born from earth and water. That's beautiful, but what happened to your appearance? Well, from a symbolic standpoint, when people describe it, it's like, well, you know, he has one leg, so he's able to hop around and walk around almost like a bird. He has one arm, and so he could depend on a tree branch to walk so he could stay connected with nature. But in other stories, Shango got in that behind. There are many translations, but the one that is told the most, he is a victim of the wrath of Shango. And for that story, we'll get into it on another day, I promise you, because all September long, we will be doing stories on the Orisha. But let's just say from that story, do not mess with Oya. Okay, we're going to hear a little bit about Oya in this video too. So that's one story that explains his appearance. And other one said that it was a battle between him and Orunmila. And there is actually another story where all of the Orisha tag team him and jumped him because he was up and trying to get world domination, so Ogun had to come and save him. That's why him and Ogun are so close today. But there's many translations to the stories that led to Osanyin's appearance and led to him having a pimp daddy King today. You may be wondering, okay, if Osanyin is the all-knowing of herbs, that's his thing, that's what he got access to, he is the master of it, so how did we get access and the knowledge of it? And this brings me back to when I said earlier, don't mess with Oya. We know Oya is down. Whatever's going on, Oya like, let me know. So in this story, Oya grew curious and she was like, let me see what Osanyin got going on, because he a little too quiet for me. So like I said, Osanyin stayed to himself because of his appearance, and with him staying to himself, he kept his herbs and his knowledge of herbs to himself as well. And it's told that he kept his herbs in a 120-foot silk cotton tree. So one day, Oya created a strong windstorm. So Osanyin heard the wind he already knew was about to happen. He tried to run back to his tree, but he could not make it in time. All of his magical herbs fell from the tree. And by the time he made it back, before he could gather all his treasures back up, the Orisha helped themselves to as much as they could. Of course, that is just a quick summary of that story, but even though that happened, still to this day, Osain still reigns as the top master, all-knowing when it comes to herbs and plants, and not one Orisha can use anything herbal, no matter the purpose, no matter what they're doing with the plants, without the okay of Osanyin. And with this, he is known to work very, very closely with witches, because for obvious reason, when it comes to doing magic or anything mystical or any type of spell work, more than likely one step of whatever ritual or spell work you're doing is going to incorporate something from nature, whether it's an herb, whether it's a plant, whether it's some dirt, whether it's a branch, whatever you are touching and utilizing Osanyin in that process. And even with that story of Oya being Oya, Osain and Oya work very closely together. And just think about it. I'm going to give you a minute to guess. If Osain works with nature, herbs, trees, and plants, and Oya has winds, how do you think those two come together? Oxygen. There's even an actual equation that goes behind it, but they say every time you take a breath, it is Osanyin and Oya working together to create that energy and that O2 throughout your body. So shout out to Osanyin, because without him, this crystal dry rub would not exist. So Osanyin is usually called upon to share the knowledge of herbal cures and to enhance the magic of plants as well. Like I said, the Orisha have to go to him first, so they come to him quite often to help make their potions. He's known to work closely with witches and herbalists. You know, those people, no matter what you have going on, they always know what tea you need to drink, what herbs you need to mix up. They had a whole bunch of herbs. They're like, okay, you need some lavender, you need some chamomile, you need some of this. They just know how to cook up something. It is told that he is the one whispering in their ear and guiding their hands to mix up the right concoction for whatever they need. His colors are green along with red, white, and yellow. And with all of his knowledge and skill, it has made him one of the most respected and utilized Orisha. I hope I was able to share some useful knowledge for you guys, just to be a little bit more familiar with Osanyin, so when you hear the name, at least you think of herbs, okay? If you don't take nothing else away from this video, Osanyin, herbs, okay? Mr. Herbal Redenbacher. Get it? Because I said herb instead of Redenbacher, and popcorn, corn, nature, herbal Redenbacher. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. And like I say, as above so below, as within so without, as the universe so the soul. Until next time, you guys, I'm Shay.